Hello there, everybody. How are you
Oh man,
today?
it's gonna be a big reflection on those glasses. I'm gonna take this
Yeah,
out.
sorry. I also didn't even process this before, but look at your nice button-down shirt. We're used to you always having
Oh yeah, every once in a while. My wife hates this shirt, so
Does she really?
I always I wear it when she's like, you know, at work or something like that. It's like I think it's okay.
I think
Um,
you look nice,
oh,
Doug.
thanks. Gosh, glad somebody likes it.
We appreciate you dressing up for stream even though you don't have to.
Well, it's still flannel. I mean, how dressed up is flannel? I don't know.
I wasn't gonna say that, but sure, Doug.
This is the most I get dressed up, okay? Even when I try to wear a suit for the NC, it's like a t-shirt's under it, okay? I don't even tie the tie all the way.
Yeah. Well, yes, happy Thursday, everyone. Welcome to Chatting with Doug. There is no Ghost Rob, no Rob this time. He's got more important things to do. He's just riding off into the sunset. No, I don't know what he's doing, but
No, that is what he's doing. That was a good guess.
riding off into the sunset, just dramatically.
Yeah.
He'll send us a picture later.
Yeah, no, he's got like a family in town and stuff like that.
Yeah. Excuse me. So you're just stuck with Doug this week. I know no one's
Sorry.
actually here for Doug, but
I know.
it's what
It
you're
sounds like a
stuck
bad
with.
sitcom. Stuck with Doug.
Oh my god, it does.
We're stuck with Doug.
Exactly, 100% sounds like that. But we are going to get started on the rules here, just as you all started a hype train. Thank you. We're going to get started on the rules here so we can get going on these questions. First and foremost, we're going to give priority to the bit messages since that is some real world money spent. Sometimes we have time for highlighted questions at the end of the stream, so that would be the time if you do want to highlight a question because you don't have bits, that would be the time to do it, is towards the end of the stream. Please do not repeat the same thing over and over again in chat. You can get timed out or even banned if you're just going to continuously do that. That also does include the bit messages here. I do have a list. We've already been live for like 6 minutes, but I haven't read a single one, so we do get behind. Sometimes as far as like 45 minutes we get behind. So just have patience. I do have a list. We will get to it. Please watch the length of your questions. Keep them shorter. The longer they are, the faster I have to read it and the less likely people are to understand it. So keep the questions to the point. Please, no spoilers. I know that's a little difficult given a certain clip from the Batman that was just released. So I don't even know.
Not a spoiler though. Come on.
I know it was a weird thing because it's kind of public and all over the place, but it was a little bit of a spoiler if you haven't seen the Batman yet. You know.
I mean, I don't know. It's in the clip. I don't know. It's different opinions. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think it would be
Yeah. There's probably no way around that question. So
yeah. Well, so it's in the clip. It just says in the title what
it does.
it is. And stuff,
That's what I mean. Like it's trending everywhere. Every news source I see has been listing off it. So
I actually thought it was fake at first. When I saw it, I'm just like, oh yeah, deleted scene with the
Me
Joker
too.
and stuff. I'm just like, what?
Because it's still in theaters. Why are we releasing a
Yeah,
deleted
it's so
scene
weird.
when it's still in theaters? But okay, sure, fine, whatever. That's a choice. The Batman. Along those lines, maybe check to make sure that someone else hasn't asked your question. We'll probably get a lot of questions about that particular clip or Doug's thoughts on Turning Red or things like that. So maybe just make sure no one else has asked the question because we just hate to dismiss the question if it's already been asked like 4 or 5 times. I think that's pretty much it then.
I think we got it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Okay.
All right.
Great.
Great.
I think it's a little out of focus. Hopefully I got there. Maybe. I don't know.
Well,
We'll
maybe
see.
your camera just hates the shirt too.
You know, maybe.
Maybe.
Sorry, camera. It's just like too much red. Christ.
That's really what it is. Doug, who's normally very white, has a slight red tint to him now.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's get into it. That Disney nerd, thank you so much for that 23-month subscription. Welcome back. They just say 1 more month to go, baby, until it's been 2 years.
Oh, nice.
Thank you. We appreciate that. Big Mac, thank you for the 50 bits. Have you seen the season 2 finale of Rebels yet, Doug? And if so, when can we expect your video on the season?
Tomorrow. Yeah, I think it's going up tomorrow. Yeah, and I liked it. Yeah, that was some really cool shit. I'm just gonna say it, Darth Maul's my favorite Star Wars character now. Like that
Right?
sealed it for me. Oh my god, he is just. I mean, just went from a nothing character in the prequels to like just the most fascinating guy with like so many layers and such an incredible journey and everything. I'm just like, okay, that's it. This is my favorite character.
Yep. Alexander, thank you for the 50 bits. I have two things to say. First, does anyone else feel like the Porky Pig rap is similar to what The Simpsons was making fun of with Poochie 25 years ago? Second, remember to always recycle. To the extreme!
Yeah, I mean, pretty much. And again, it sucks because that can be funny. It's a character that stutters doing a rap. That's a funny idea, but then they just immediately drop it. They're gonna be like, no, he's gonna rap really good, and that's the funny part. It's like, no, that's not why that was gonna be funny. So yeah, it hurts.
That Disney nerd, thank you for the 100 bits. Hello, Heather, the queen of bits. Hello, Doug, the supreme overlord of everything that lives. And hi, Rob. How y'all doing?
I mean, he's not here, so he deserves that. Good.
Mumrar, thank you for the 50 bits. Have you all seen the new trailer for the Ghostbusters Spirits Unleashed video game? Aykroyd and Hudson return to voice act, and the story of the game seems to pick up from where the Afterlife movie and end credit scene left us. Do you think Afterlife's end credit scene was just a setup for the game or a true movie sequel?
I don't know. I haven't seen the trailer for the game. Yeah, I don't know. And I like Afterlife. It is one of those where it does get me saying, well, where do you go after that? And even then, do you do Gozer again? I mean, because if they retcon the other ones, it's like, well, it's just Gozer's the only bad guy, you know? So do you just bring her back? Like, I don't know where you go from here.
Yeah, I don't know. I know, guys, thank you for the 50 bits. Apparently, Nicolas Cage says that he did several VOD films to pay off debts and keep his mother out of a mental institution.
Oh.
I did see that.
Oh, I mean, okay, the first half of that, we all guessed. The second half, I didn't know that. Yeah, that's, I hope she's okay.
Yeah, well, and I liked, too, the part of the articles that I have read about it that they centraled on that I kind of liked is that he was saying that, you know, yes, I did all of those straight to streaming service crap movies to pay off debts and to help my mother, but I was still a little picky, and I didn't not bring my all to everything. Like, every single one of those movies, I do not regret doing them because I found something in them that I enjoyed, and I brought my all to all of them. I'm like, good for you, Nicolas Cage.
We gotta do it like it. I brought my all to all of them. Fantastic. Next question.
So I just thought that was an interesting take.
That is really cool.
Yeah, that he's like, yeah.
He's like a cool guy.
100%. He really does. He really does. Good for him. Alexander, thank you for the 50 bits. Hi, Doug. The most recent season of The Simpsons has a 2-part episode called The Serious Flanders, which a lot of people, myself included, consider to be one of The Simpsons' strongest episodes in years. It's on Hulu at the moment. If you haven't seen it yet, I highly recommend it.
Okay. You know, it's funny because I started to get back into it after some people saying, yeah, it's actually not that bad right now. It's hit and miss, but the hits have been pretty good. But then I got kind of out of it again. Again, I'm just watching so much. So knowing that really makes me want to check it out again. So, okay, The Serious Flanders. I will try to find that one. Or two.
I know, guys. Thank you for the 50 bits. Have you ever checked out the deleted scene for The Batman featuring that... Okay, I guess we're just going to say it, okay? We're just going to say it.
Yeah, I mean, I just said it. Come on.
Yeah. Featuring the Joker. I did, and it's much better than I thought it would be. However, I would much rather go in a different direction.
Me too.
Same.
The two things that really stood out to me, again, are the makeup and the focus. Which, how often do you get to say the focus in a movie is amazing? But it really is. It's breathtaking. And I like what they were doing with that. The performance, I feel bad because there's just been so many iconic Jokers out there that I feel like I'm more picky on them. I'm harsher on them. So I watch it, I say, that's okay. It's fine. You know, it's just another one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where I would like to see something different done again because there's been so many different interpretations. But it's not bad. It's just okay. There's another Joker. You know what I mean? But I
Right.
love the makeup from what I saw.
Right. Yeah, I agree. What really stood out to me was the cinematography. So that's
Mm.
about it.
And even like I said, the makeup on it kind of looks like some of those more realistic comics where they try to draw like the shadows and everything looking a lot more real. Like it really did look like something kind of right out of a comic book, like one that was like airbrushed or something like that. So yeah, I was very impressed with that.
Yeah, for sure. LPB the actor, thank you so much for that 31-month subscription.
Thank
Welcome
you.
back, appreciate that. Happy to be subbed to you guys for 31 months. So knowing that some shots of the Batman was shot in Chicago, would you have been able to be an extra for the film?
I, I don't know. I mean, I don't recall it being like. Oh no, that's right. In the stadium, there was a lot of extras there. I was gonna say a lot of those scenes, like the streets were empty.
They were like
So probably
establishing
not.
shots.
Yeah, but there were a couple of shots, like anything under the L. I'm like, oh, that's Chicago. I didn't even know they shot it in Chicago. And as I'm watching, I'm like, oh, I recognize that spot. I know that spot and everything.
Right.
So yeah, there were a couple areas.
Adam Grunther, thank you for the 50 bits. Have you made any progress on Peacemaker and has it won you over at all?
I still haven't. I'm sorry. I'm getting through a lot of shows and movies. I think I got like 2 Disney Decembers done. I'm just like I'm way behind on them, so I'm trying to already catch up with that and watch the things for that. So yeah, I apologize, and I don't know when I'm gonna get to it. I'm sorry.
How dare you
I know.
sleep instead of watch content, Doug?
I know. I'm the worst.
How dare. Godzilla fan, thank you for the 50 bits. Loved the Batman review yesterday, and I'd like to say how come Knox didn't know that Bruce Wayne was Bruce Wayne?
How come Vicky didn't? She's a photojournalist. It's literally visual, and she got the tickets in. How does she not know what Bruce Wayne looks like?
I don't know, man. That Disney nerd, thank you for the 100 bits. Did you hear? A Godzilla vs. Kong sequel has been announced, and it's not going to be Kong fighting Godzilla again. Thoughts?
Then how is it a sequel? Oh, wait. No. They could have them teaming up and going against something. Yeah. I mean, the last one I thought was pretty damn cool. So
It was fun.
yeah, I'm down for whatever they got in mind. I hope it's like that same team because the other movies are fine, but that was the first one I saw where I was like, that was good. That was really, really fun.
Yeah.
I like Skull Island and all the others, but I'm like, okay, it's another monster movie, you know what I mean? Where this one was like, okay, that was pretty fun and epic.
Yeah, for sure. Adam Grunther, thank you for the 50 bits. What are your thoughts on the Night at the Museum movies?
I've only seen the first one. I liked it.
It's fun for what it is.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, I heard Dick Van Dyke was the villain in it. I'm like, oh no, come on. But when I saw it, it was really funny. Like they had a good sense of humor about it. He's like doing like kung fu kicks and stuff. I'm like, all right, this is kind of fun. I never did see the sequels. I heard they were meh, but again, I shouldn't say unless I've seen them.
You got blurry again, Doug. You were like
God
perfectly
damn it.
in focus, and then you like moved to get water, and the camera was like, ha ha, no.
Yeah, maybe I should just lean in like that. I think when I lean in, it's a little better. Hold up. Whoop. No, it's still kind of blurry.
It was there for a second. Yeah, that's better. You're
that good?
Yeah,
Okay.
You're better. Great, fantastic. Matt Hanna, thank you for the 50 bits. So I've watched Encanto 3 times, more times than I've watched Raya. Heck, more times than I've watched Moana. It's just so damn good.
Yeah, it's a good movie. It's a very, very solid movie. I think I've definitely heard the songs a lot more than 3 times. I think that's what I've watched over and over. Yeah, and again, what I like watching it again is that you notice all the little things in the background going on. And again, I mean, with a lot of Disney animation, like all the textures and colors and lighting and stuff that's always so mind blowing. So yeah, there's a lot to appreciate. It's a good movie to watch over and over.
I know, guys, thank you for the 50 bits. To no one's shock, while Morbius received negative reviews claiming it to be a confusing slog, Sonic the Hedgehog 2 has received extremely positive reviews so far. I wouldn't be surprised if it's called the Spider-Man 2 of video games.
Yeah, video game movies. Thank you so much. I have a screening for Morbius 2 next week, and it's It's very close to when it comes out, which is not a good sign.
Oh
But
no.
who knows? Maybe he'll be fantastic. I don't think it's gonna be fantastic, but who knows? Sonic 2, I think looks like a ton of fun. Like that's what I want to see in a Sonic movie. So I'm hoping it delivers. As soon as I saw Tails flying that plane, I'm like, okay, how the hell are they gonna make that happen? But like, that's the fun. I want to see how they do it, and the explanation does not need to be that good. I just want to see him fly that plane and Sonic on it and everything, and collecting rings and fighting robots and other furry creatures. That's what I want to see in a Sonic movie.
Adam Grunther, thank you for the 50 bits. What is your favorite and least favorite Robin Williams performance?
Man, least favorite? I mean, it's got to be one of those like really bad dramas, like Patch Adams or something like that. Something where it just feels so manipulative, and he's just got the I know where to look for the camera, to look really dramatic and stuff. And my favorite is the ones probably where he's the most real, something like Good Will Hunting or something like that. Or was it Insomniac? I forget the name of it, but yeah, I mean, he's legit creepy in that, and he just plays it totally normal, and that's why it's so creepy. So yeah, I like when he does that kind of stuff. Of course, any of the comedies, almost always fantastic.
I know, guys, thank you for the 50 bits. Doug, if and when you get the chance, please check out Tunerific Tariq and Scott the Woz. Both are incredibly likable and really funny.
Oh yeah, well, I've seen some of Scott the Woz, and I met him. He's a really, really sweet guy. And I don't know the other
Tunerific, and then I don't know if it's Tariq or, yeah, it looks like Tunerific Tariq.
Okay.
Tunerific, and then Tariq.
I'll find it, I'm sure, at some point. Wait, all right, one more time. Tunerific.
And then I think it's Tariq, Tariq.
Okay, I will look that up. Yeah, I haven't seen this before, but it looks really cool. Look it up.
Antari, thank you for the 100 bits. Doug, as much as I'm dying to see you play Telltale's The Walking Dead, I'll admit, you playing Jedi Fallen Order is almost as exciting. It's not just a great Star Wars game, but it's just a great game in general. I know you'll love it.
Yeah, I hear it's difficult. So
it is.
We'll see how that goes. I mean, but I don't know. It helps. I've been playing these more and more Friday nights and stuff like that, so maybe that'll help me out. But probably not. But I'm still excited to see it, play it too.
I know, guys. Thank you for the 50 bits. The Pauly Shore Pinocchio film has just been released, and it's even more WTF than the trailer. Please review it when you can. Also, please review Dougal soon.
Yeah, I was trying to find out when that gets released, because it can't give me the release of the original, but now knowing that, yeah, I might have to. I'm already doing, it's funny because I'm doing one of the ones after Dark Knight month is like, not super obscure, but I mean, it's on like the same level of just kind of a bad, very clearly low budget animated film. So I'll see if I want to do those close together. Maybe I will. I don't know. I really want to get to No Way Home as well. I want to talk about that. So we'll see. I do want to see it because it did look entertainingly bad.
Frameiser, thank you for the 70 bits. Saw Mask of the Phantasm and enjoyed it. Excited to see your review next week.
Oh yeah, no, it's and we made like a Phantasm costume too. That I just love the way this thing looks. So yeah, I'm excited to have other people see it too.
Matt Hanna, thank you for the 50 bits. I just keep imagining Kingdom Hearts crossing over with Encanto and seeing Camillo shape-shifting into Donald and pissing him off.
That's pretty funny. Well, the things you can do with that house and the way it moves and everything, I think there's a whole lot you can do. And again, in that movie, they don't really fight anything. So I think the idea of them fighting like Heartless and everything would be a lot of fun to see.
Talkative Carl, thank you for the 50 bits. Question for all of you. Throughout the entire world, do you think there are more doors than there are wheels, or vice versa?
What does that mean?
Like, in the world, are there more doors than there are wheels, or are there more wheels than there are doors? I would assume there's more wheels, just because the amount of things that have wheels.
Ditto. I don't know. It's a weird question.
I know, guys. Thank you for the 50 bits. Doug, have you checked out Turning Red again? And if so, are the first 2/3 still annoying, or are they better than you remembered?
It is better. I still couldn't quite get into the characters and the style and the choices and stuff, but it is nice knowing, oh, okay, well, this setup here didn't seem to go anywhere. It is gonna go somewhere. Like that's really nice. And I love what they're trying to do in that first 2/3, and I think a lot of other people are going to as well. I think they're gonna get into it very much. I can see this really getting a following similar to like what a Goofy movie had. But for me, it didn't really grab me until that last third, which is still, God, watching it again, just, I mean, chef's kiss. It's so spectacular. It's so good.
Adam Grunther, thank you for the 50 bits. What are your thoughts on Ben Stiller as an actor? Do you think he's funny at all?
Oh, sure. I think there's some people, some comedians that just rub people the wrong way. I know Heather, like you always say, "Oh, Will Ferrell, man, God damn it, I fucking hate Will Ferrell."
Yep.
And I know a lot of people that think that, and he's never bothered me. Yeah, but I'm not gonna act like he's like, oh, he's a genius of comedy or anything. And Ben Stiller is one of those two where I'm always like, I think he's funny. I think he's fine. I actually almost like him more as a director than
Mm.
an actor because I loved Tropic Thunder and Cable Guy and stuff like that. I loved the Ben Stiller show. When he did the Ben Stiller show, his parodies were almost too good. Like he had like the intercutting and stuff like that. You would really confuse it for like a legit trailer at the time or commercial at the time. So he never bothered me, and his dramatic stuff is always great. So yeah, I'm not gonna act like everything he does is phenomenal. I mean, it's clearly not, but I never had a problem with him.
Hewlett fan, thank you for the 50 bits. What's your favorite manga? Did you read much when you were a kid? I'd recommend Berserk. It's literally the highest rated manga on Earth.
I haven't read that, but I know what it. I know the sword, man. Or is that Berserker? Well, which one has the
Oh,
ridiculously
I
long
think that's,
sword?
I think it's, yeah, I think it's what you're thinking of.
Okay, okay, that one. It doesn't even matter. I've just seen a little bit of the anime. But yeah, but I can't. I'm blanking on what they were. I mean, does something like the old Mario manga count that they had like
Sure, why
Nintendo Power? I
not?
mean, I really did legit love those. But and Rob lent me Satoshi Komb's like unfinished manga that he
Hmm.
did, which is like a character that goes into a manga. And I think like years later, he like kind of finished it. He had like the rough layouts there and stuff like that. And ironically, it's about him finishing the manga as well. So I thought that was pretty interesting and engaging. But I'm sure I've nowhere read like the best one or anything like that, or the stuff that they do with it. I'm sure is like amazing. Yeah, I just never had time to read them.
Antari, thank you for the 100 bits. Doug, the final episode of Amphibia finally coming out is on fire right now. I highly recommend watching Amphibia when you're done with Star Wars Rebels.
Well, and a little bit of a clue what I'm reviewing next. One of the stars of Amphibia is in this movie, so whether for better or worse, but yeah, no, I hear great things. And then when I was looking up the voice actress, it was showing here's the other thing she's in, and it had a picture of Amphibia, but it says Teen Girl in Frogland. Like that was like the official title and everything. I'm like, I know that's not the title. What is this? I'm wondering if that's like a British version or something. I don't know.
Huh,
It was really, really weird.
that is weird. Dillbomb, thank you for the 50 bits. In honor of Easter/Passover coming in a month, what are your thoughts on The Passion of the Christ, and would you review it on an NC?
I did with Brad. If you go to the Cinema Snob, you can watch it there. We did the Passion of the Santa Christ with it. I didn't like it even when it came out. That's just. You want my opinion? Watch the South Park episode I talked about. I mean, that's like all my thoughts right there, man.
I know. Oh, I didn't read that. Sorry. I know, guys. Thank you for the 50 bits. There's an upcoming show about the making of The Godfather and how it almost never happened. It's called The Offer, and it actually looks really interesting. I think you might like it, Doug.
I like that title. Yeah, be down for seeing that. I wonder when they're ever gonna do, because I know you have the documentary, but maybe just a movie on making Apocalypse Now. That well, the documentary is already pretty perfect though. It sort of shows everything. Yeah, okay, no, I'd be down for seeing that.
Adam Grunther, thank you for the 50 bits. Are there any Marvel villains that you want to see replace Thanos as the next overarching villain of the MCU?
Um, I mean, I always have a soft spot for like some of the X-Men villains, like Mr. Sinister. I mean, Apocalypse. I like to see Apocalypse done right. I think that'd be cool. Yeah, I guess those two, because we've seen a bunch of other ones in the MCU. I'm sure they're like running out of villains, or maybe not. I don't know.
I know, guys. Thank you for the 50 bits, and I know I'm gonna completely destroy this name. We all know David Dostmilkian as Kurt from Ant-Man and Polka Dot Man from the Suicide Squad, but only real people know him as Sergeant LJNG from the Nerd movie.
Is that really? He's in the Nerd movie?
Yeah, I've seen it before.
Didn't I just find out he was in like something else too? He's apparently in all this stuff that I'm just like, oh shit, I had no idea he was like in all this stuff. Like I guess he's like a chameleon. So yeah, I think I gotta look him up some more.
Adam Grunther, thank you for the 50 bits. Would you be opposed to there being a sequel to Where the Wild Things Are?
I wouldn't mind seeing that style with maybe another kid's book idea. But to me, that's such a perfect movie, in my opinion. I always say there's like a holy trinity of like emotional storytelling movies, like Snow White, Wizard of Oz, and Where the Wild Things Are. I know it's a big leap in time in between those, but yeah, to me, those are movies written entirely by the emotions of what a character is experiencing and what you want them to experience and go through and stuff. And yeah, to me, I'm just like, no, that ends perfect. It starts perfect. The middle, it gives you just the right amount of information for you to kind of connect to. Okay, what's his father? What's his aunt? What's his friends? Is this a mix of things? You know, just him working through stuff. So yeah, no, that's one of my favorite movies. I don't think you need to do any more with it. But a sequel to Inside Out, I'd love to see that.
Yeah.
I'd love to see more of that idea expanded.
Modika, thank you for the 50 bits. Hi guys, any update on the Doug Reviews retool?
Yeah, we're gonna do one more test just to try it out. I think we're good, and then if everything goes right, Morbius will probably be the first one that we do. You know, that we officially post and everything. So yeah, keep an eye out.
That Disney nerd, thank you for the 100 bits. I have a confession. I don't think Batman 89 is the best Batman. I can respect it as an important comic book film, but I don't think it aged well, and I don't mean the effects.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's totally fine. No, a lot of people are saying the Batman's the best one. A lot of people say Dark Knight's the best one. So, I mean, like, yeah, don't feel bad about that. And some people say Mask of the Phantasm's the best one. So, yeah, I mean, everyone's going to have their own unique version of Batman that they're like, no, like, this is my favorite and everything. So, yeah, no, I totally get it.
Steelbomb, thank you for the 50 bits. What are your examples of a bad trailer to a great movie and a great trailer to a bad or mediocre movie?
So many great trailers to bad movies. Like Pirates 3 had a great trailer. Wolverine had a great trailer.
The original Suicide Squad had a great trailer.
Yeah. There's so many good trailers out there. Example of a bad trailer to a good movie. A
lot of Pixar movies do that.
I was gonna say Pixar coming into my mind. Yeah. I'll go. Oh, actually, Mask of the Phantasm. Terrible trailer. I mean, awful. It looks like a trailer from like the 40s. Like it's so bad. So yeah, there you go.
TCL Coda, thank you for the 50 bits. So fun little connection to Batman 89. Robert Wool did reprise his role as Knox 30 years later for the CW's Crisis on Infinite Earths, and in the same montage as Burt Ward reprising his Robin from Batman 66.
I heard about that. I never did see it. I remember Walter was talking about it, and that's the first thing, because like I think both you and Walter were talking about, Heather, just like, you know, you're so excited. I'm like, what is this? I don't get what's the big deal? And then when I heard who's in it and who they had in there, I'm like, oh shit, I want to see this. I don't even watch this show, and I want to see that.
You probably could just watch the little arc of Crisis on Infinite Earths and get the
that's what I
of it.
hear. Yeah, that you can get the gist of it. So I might someday.
Adam Grunther, thank you for the 50 bits. Did you ever find Ezra annoying in Star Wars Rebels?
About as much as anyone else, if that makes sense. You know, it's just there's kind of that awkward acting that's, you could argue, is a little bit through Clone Wars too, but I mean, like, it was a little bit more prominent in Rebels, but is getting better. And I have started season 3, and I'm already liking him a lot more in season 3. But again, I get it. He's like the blank slate. He's supposed to be, you know, kind of the Luke of the group and stuff like that. So he didn't bother me that much.
LPB the actor, thank you for the 100 bits. Between Bane and Venom, what Tom Hardy performance would you prefer?
Bane. He's a lot more fun just for his big bombastic quotes, and when his voice goes funny as Bane, it's really entertaining. When it goes funny as Venom, I'm like, all right, I'm annoyed.
JT, thank you for the 50 bits. In your opinion, what would you say are the biggest problems with the Hobbit trilogy that didn't make them nearly as good as the Lord of the Ring trilogy?
I mean, one, it's a trilogy. It doesn't need to be. I only got up to the second one. I didn't see the third. Everyone says you're missing nothing. It's like homework. And I didn't really get into the second one. I really like the first one. Because what I like about Middle Earth is I like when it feels like you can really be there. You know, I feel like I did get a little bit of that from the Bakshi one, and eventually I feel like I got it from the Jackson movies, but I didn't get it in the Fellowships. I always say The Hobbit is kind of like the Fellowship of the Ring I always wanted. So I do really like that one, but yeah, just keep it simple. Tell it as one movie, at the most two, but I don't think you need that. I think you could have done it as one.
Talkative Carl, thank you for the 50 bits. Do you guys have annoying cliches in sitcoms you wish studios would stop doing? For me, I wish parents in sitcoms that have full breakfast spread and their kids only grab toast on the way into school. Can't stand it.
Rob always brings this up because we see it all the time in Frasier. And it's funny because there's 2 actors on there that do it great and 2 that do it awful. Frasier and his dad do it the worst, whereas somebody says a line and they do the... or the like that kind of look, but Daphne and Niles do it great. They like perfected it. It never looks awkward. It looks very natural. It's funny. It doesn't feel out of place. So to get that down is very, very tricky. But you got to do something when people are laughing. So I get it. But it's the one thing where if it's not done well, it's like, oh, it's just so cringy.
Orlando Garcia, thank you for that 21-month subscription. Welcome back. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
that. No Rob again. This is the worst sub anniversary ever.
Garbage!
Garbage indeed. Frameizer, thank you for the 50 bits. If you can bring an obscure Batman villain to the films, who would it be?
Condiment Man, of course.
Hey man, hell yeah.
There's no way you can make a serious anything with a character named Condiment Man. Yeah, I love to see Matt Reeves, the Batman universe, just be like, it's Condiment Man. Like, you can't even say it without laughing.
Yeah, I would really like to see a Mad Hatter. The Mad Hatter done well would be really cool.
I was gonna say, even that obscure though. I mean,
no, see, that's the thing. Like, obscure. What's obscure in the Batman universe? I don't know. Like,
I mean, there's no movie on him, so I guess that's true.
Right. Adam Grunther, thank you for the 50 bits. Seeing how Keaton is coming back to play Batman in The Flash, do you think it would be fitting if they revealed that Vicky ended up with Knox?
I don't know. I mean, because there's always a part of me, it's like I kind of like him being the loser. You know what I mean? That's part of the charm of him. But you know, maybe a loser gets his day. I don't know. And she did like not flirt back, but she liked what he was doing and kind of like, you know, give him a little kiss on the cheek and stuff like that. Or maybe it was even the lips. I can't remember. So I don't know. I wouldn't be against it, I guess.
Sailor Aaron, thank you for the 100 bits. Hello, Dashing Doug. Very nice flannel shirt, by the way.
Oh, wow.
And Heavenly Heather. How are y'all doing? So I rewatched a Goofy movie recently. I was thinking, will you do an extremely goofy movie for the NC? I really like both movies, and I think it's a pretty good sequel.
I did Disney December on it. I think that's enough. There's some things in it that work, but yeah, I couldn't get into it. Sorry.
Antari, thank you for the 100 bits. Doug, you said you grew up with the Star Wars Ewok movies. I'd like a Nostalgia Critic review on May the 4th, Star Wars Day, which is a Wednesday. Either that or Spaceballs.
I am doing a Disney December on them, on both movies. I'm just doing them back to back because you need to do them back to back when you know what happens in the second one. So I'll do that. Yeah, I don't know. I should write down something because we are on May the 4th, right? Like that's like a NC comes out that day.
Yeah, it's a Wednesday.
Yeah, so that I'll look into doing something Star Wars for that. See if there's something we want to do for that.
Big Jack Films, thank you for the 50 bits. Hey, sorry I'm late. Great job on Batman 89, Doug. I know next week is Mask of the Phantasm, but I wonder why not much love is given to the follow-up Sub-Zero. Would there ever be an NC on that film?
Maybe I had to see it again, because I remember a lot of people really saying how good it is, and I saw it, and I was like, yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's decent. But a lot of people say what you say. They're like, man, it doesn't get much love or anything. It needs more attention. So, maybe I'll watch it again to see if it's better than I thought, because I don't think I've seen it since it came out.
Adam Grunther, thank you for the 50 bits. Have you ever seen They Live? It's a low-budget sci-fi movie starring Roddy Piper. It might be good for freak show cinema.
Yeah, I always have it on the list for like a Halloween episode because I do legit love it. It's a great movie. That fist fight between him and whatchamacallit, Keith David that just goes on forever is so funny. So maybe at one point it's on the list. I don't know when I'll get to it, but it is on the list.
Matt Hanna, thank you for the 50 bits. Would you say that Encanto is on Mary Poppins level, maybe?
I mean, that's Mary Poppins, man. It's pretty high up there. Again, the one issue I had, I wish there was a little bit more focus on the mother and sort of the connection with the family, because that is like what it's all about. And is there. I would like just a little bit more focus, where with Mary Poppins, it's like, man, it's hard to find like a problem with it. I don't know. Let me put it this way. I don't think it's going to have any problem being remembered as much as Mary Poppins. I think it's way too colorful. It's way too musical. The story's too good. Characters are too good. So I think it's going to be remembered on that level anyway.
Godzilla fan, thank you for the 50 bits. From Apple Pie, she asks, when you put on the NC outfit, does it feel like you getting into character?
No, it is the closest to feeling like putting on a suit for work. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And there is something always nice when you get there, you put the suit on. I mean, it is an office. I mean, essentially, we have offices there and stuff. And I go in, I shoot, and when I'm done, I get out of the outfit and put the coat in to leave and stuff. I don't know. There is a sense of like, I'm an adult. I just yelled about a cartoon for a couple hours, but I'm an adult, kind of thing.
Talkative Carl, thank you for the 50 bits. What commercials do you want to do your own realistic, unique take?
Well, commercials?
Yeah.
I don't know. Just the gecko trying to sell car insurance, just like someone freaks and smashes it, just like, I don't know.
Adam Grunther, thank you for the 50 bits. Which Marvel Netflix first season do you like more, Daredevil or Jessica Jones?
Jessica Jones.
Yeah.
I think the... I mean, I was gonna say like, the rivalry between the hero and villain is so good, and I'm like, well, that's pretty good in Daredevil as well. But I don't know if there's much more of a connection between them in Jessica Jones, and I think that makes it more interesting. Where with Daredevil, it's like the villain is great and the hero is great, and there is a rivalry, but it's not like that's not the focus. You know what I mean? Where in Jessica Jones, that's like everything. It's like entirely around those two. So yeah, I think I say that.
I know, guys, thank you for the 50 bits. Not gonna lie, I would love to have Nicolas Cage be the new Superman for the DCEU. Cage said that he would love to return as the character, and I'd be all for it.
He's a little up there now. I could see him as Superman's father. Let's go with that. Or if they do something like Spider-Verse, where it's like different universes, like he's already one of the Spider-Mans in Spider-Verse, so he can be one of the Supermans there. You know what I mean? Like that would work.
Mm-hmm.
Noir Superman.
Orlando Garcia, thank you for the 100 bits. Doug, are you aware that you've got an end of the video catchphrase? In videos like your Doug reviews, I notice you always close word for word with, all right, that's about it, and I'll see you guys next time. Snap, take care. It's like the soda OJ purple stuff gag.
Yeah, with like when I did Nostalgia Critic, I'm like, okay, this is always going to be the opening and closing line. But with that, I'm just like, I don't know. I got to close this out some way, and I'm always doing something with my hand, so I have to bring it back down. So I'll do a little snap and say, take care, because I say take care. I don't know. I think even in the new review show we're doing, I end it the same way. So, yeah. I don't know why I did that. That's just what I do, I guess.
Antari, thank you for the 100 bits. Doug, there's a short nostalgic animated series called Making Fiends, where there are YouTube videos that squeeze all the episodes into one 2-hour video that could make a good freak show cinema.
Wait, what is that? Did someone bring that up before?
Yeah, it's been recommended before.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I did write this down. I haven't had a chance to look it over yet, but yeah, I want to. It sounded interesting.
Alexander, thank you for the 50 bits. Hi, Doug. The first reactions for Sonic 2 are in, and so far they're very positive. As someone who enjoyed the first film, okay, it's going to be difficult to screw this one up for me.
After seeing the trailer, that's kind of my thought. I mean, I don't know. I feel like I'm not that hard to impress when it comes to a Sonic movie, which is why I'm just like, why'd you put him in a car in the first one? But yeah, I don't know. Everything I'm seeing, it just looks like fun. It just looks like everything I wanted to see in one. So I'm hoping it's good.
Tokoyami fan, thank you for the 50 bits. Hey, Doug, what was a show that had good premise and potential but failed? For me, it's Ninja. It was ninjas versus samurai yokai. I'm still angry for what we got from that Power Rangers season.
Man, I mean, there's a lot. I feel like I say that a lot. Like, this is a good idea, but yeah, they didn't know what to do with it. I guess the one that pops up in my head a lot is maybe Drop Dead Fred, because I love the idea of imaginary friend coming back. Like, she has to kind of go back and address like some real childhood, arguably trauma, that's happened. But it's done. It's just a stupid, gross out comedy, and there's like very little focused on that, or when it is, it's not done in a good way. So I'd love to see that like remade and redone, because I think they could do something really cool with that.
I am still sometimes actively angry about how bad Heroes got after that first season was so good.
I hear so many people say that, just, oh my God, you gotta see Heroes, and everyone's telling me, no, don't watch Heroes, man, you'll be so let down.
LPB the actor, thank you for the 100 bits. Lastly, do you have any Oscar winner predictions for this Sunday? I'm hoping Lin-Manuel Miranda gets the Oscar for Best Original Song, therefore giving him the EGOT.
That'd be cool, and that'd be my guess, just because I think people voting would just see, oh, Disney, oh, Lin-Manuel, okay, yeah, let's just give it to him, you know what I mean? I don't even think they even need to hear the song, but I forget who's even nominated in all those, honestly. I mean, the one thing I'm hoping for, it'd be nice to see Will Smith get one, because I think he's one of those actors who is trying to get one, and it's like, he's pretty good. He's decent. I wouldn't mind seeing him, walk away with that. Like, that'd be a nice little thing to, have in his career. But I haven't seen the movie. I haven't seen most of the movies being talked about. So no, I have like no predictions.
This is going to be Heather's hot take for the Oscars. As much as I love Encanto, I kind of hope that Billie Eilish gets Best Original Song for No Time to Die. That's one of my favorite Bond songs.
That was a good song. And I will say this, if Lin-Manuel does not get it, he'll be back.
He will.
It's not like, I get the feeling Billie Eilish will not come back. Like, this is her one shot kind of thing. So I can respect that.
Antari, thank you for the 100 bits. Doug, at some point, I would love an NC review of Guardians of Ga'Hoole. My thoughts of it are similar to yours on Avatar 2009. Bland story / characters, but awesome visuals.
That's another one on the list. I've never seen it, and that's what I hear. I hear it's very middle of the road, but it looks amazing. So yeah, one of these days I'll check it out.
Sailor Aaron, thank you for the 145 bits. So Doug, I rewatched your version of Mary Poppins Returns Fanscription, and have you thought about doing more Disney Fanscriptions in the future? Maybe Tomorrowland or Disney live action remakes like Beauty and the Beast, etc.?
I think I had one where it was like a prequel to Roger Rabbit, I think, where it was like the Valiant brothers together and like where Judge Doom came from. So, or there was even, I think, somebody mentioned a sequel where it's like Roger Rabbit and a lot of the hand-drawn tunes getting used to CG taking over, but it almost looks like they might be doing that in that weird Chip and Dale movie. So I've had some ideas, but I think I also did like The Incredibles if they grew up. I think Monsters Inc. if Boo grew up as well. So I mean, I've done a couple of Disney ones.
Talkative Carl, thank you for the 50 bits. I heard many times people criticize the Star Wars franchise about being done with the Skywalker story. We never really had a proper conclusion to the Skywalker saga. It ended on such an unsatisfying whimper. I hate to be that guy, but the last 2 Star Wars sequel films deserve a hard reset. Luke's story shouldn't end like this.
I mean, I agree with the last one. The Last Jedi, I can't act like I can't see why people weren't upset at that, but I thought it was really interesting. And as soon as you start off with Han and Leia are not together, I'm like, okay, well, all bets are off on just the happy ending and everything worked out and optimism won and stuff like that. It's like, no, give me the hard, difficult, fuck the world stuff. You know, what's after happily ever after? Give me the Children of Dune shit. I love that stuff. I don't know. I hate to say it. I'm either like be 100% happily ever after or just make it look like it's going to be that and then just completely flip it. I'm a big fan of that. So, but I did not get into Rise of Skywalker at all.
Pat and Soa, thank you for the 50 bits. I know you guys referenced the show on the Toonami episodes, but in terms of the Justice League and Justice League Unlimited, what are your thoughts? Favorite episodes?
Heather, that's you, man. I haven't seen much of them.
I actually haven't seen Justice League Unlimited. I know!
Yeah, I think it was like, what was it?
It was Walter. Yeah, Walter and Tamara.
Yeah, okay. So, yeah.
Yeah. It's on my list. There's so many animated DC stuff I need to get to. I'm sorry.
I hear it's good.
Yeah.
Which is fine, because every time I saw a clip from it, it looked bad. And then everybody says it's really, really good. And it's like, I believe them. I'm like, okay, I gotta just sit down and watch. I'm sure it's on HBO Max or something.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. Dillbomb, thank you for the 50 bits. Favorite honest trailer episode?
Oh, man. I don't know. There's so many good ones. I can't choose. There's always once in a while you get one that's like, okay, that one's just okay. But like so many of them are so funny. I can't. You know what? Let me just like type it. You can go to the next question. I want to just like look at a list, just to even like remember which ones. I'm like, oh yeah, that one. Oh yeah, that one.
Orlando Garcia, thank you for the 100 bits. Saw the Batman some 3 weeks ago, and I actually like the more depressed, reclusive angle they took with Bruce Wayne, and Robert Pattinson doesn't appear mopey and whiny at all. He legitimately appears like someone who has never recovered from a traumatic event.
I mean, okay, he's a little mopey.
He's emo Batman. I'm sorry.
But that's fine.
Right.
He did it well, and the movie did it well. I was very impressed with how well they handled it and how well he did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Although I've said in the past, the Bruce Wayne was kind of one of my least favorite parts of the Batman.
Yeah,
Bruce Wayne was not my favorite.
I liked it fine, but it's not going to be one of my favorites because again, I associate like a younger Batman, so I'm okay with it. I think I remember my favorite, or at least one of my favorite honest trailers, Man of Steel. Because I love when it's like, if you want to see Superman, fly through buildings, not save people, and scary imagery, and break a man's neck, then this is the one for you, psycho. that extra psycho at the end just made me laugh so hard.
I'm not Megan. Thank you for the 100 bits. Hello from Tennessee. Just wondering if you'll ever review the 2013 Three Stooges movie. It's an interesting one, to say the least.
That's one I have on the list, too. I haven't seen it. And a lot of people request it, and I always hear mixed things. I hear some people say, oh, it's actually not as bad as you would think. And there are people say, like, oh, rip it apart, man, rip it apart. So, yeah, I haven't checked it out. I know, was it like Jersey Shore or something's in there? Like some thing of the time that's like super dated now, and everyone just goes, oh, whenever they see it. But no, I haven't seen it.
Talkative Carl, thank you for the 50 bits. Would you rather live in a house with roaches or ghosts?
Oh, ghosts, man. Holy
down.
Shit. That'd be amazing. Or the ghosts of roaches. Oh, my God. I would just have to know. What's the roach afterlife like? I gotta know.
Homecoming Hero, thank you for the 50 bits. Shout out to all of you for being awesome. Also, Doug, it's been months. The have a cookie line has not left me. It will never leave my head rent-free. So also shout out to the best bit reader, Heather. Thank you for making my days great. Hope to see you all at a con again this year.
Here.
Thanks, same.
Yeah, we got one coming up in April, Midwest Gaming Classic in Milwaukee. I think it's like the last week of April, I think, or last weekend, I should say. So check it out. I think we're all going to be there. Like, all of us are going to be there.
Alexander, thank you for the 50 bits. Hi, Doug. Night at the Museum 2 is not as good as the first one, but it features one of Hank Azaria's funniest film performances, which for me totally makes it worth it. I would recommend it. Also, the third film was a surprisingly emotional conclusion to the series.
Oh, okay. Yeah, like I said, I've only heard mixed things about him, but I should check him out.
Alan, thank you for the 100 bits. Hey, Doug, really great job on Dark Knight Month. I loved Batman 89. Fun fact, I used to run around my house and quote the scene, Eckerd, think about the future, and it made my parents angry. Lol, so if you've seen it, what are your thoughts on Batman the Animated Series Sub-Zero?
Oh, I liked it, but I think I gotta see it again because a lot of people say it's like really, really great.
It's
And
good.
yeah, I think I saw it, like I said, when it came out, so I was a teen. I remember liking it, but I've heard more talk about it. So maybe because Mask of the Phantasm, like a lot more people are looking at it, so they're kind of like, and that was like the underdog, so now like Sub-Zero's the underdog, maybe. So yeah, but I remember liking it.
That Disney nerd, thank you for the 100 bits. Who do you think is the better improv actor, Jim Carrey or Robin Williams?
Oh, Williams. Oh my God. And I like Jim Carrey, but no. I mean, Robin Williams and like anyone, Williams is gonna win. I mean, that's one of those guys where it's like, take him off the movie set and just talk to him as a person. And it's like, how is he doing this? How is he coming up with jokes this good? Just off the top of his head. I mean, he really was a miracle.
Dillbomb, thank you for the 50 bits. What's your favorite theme month that you've done for the NC?
You know, it's funny, and I have to go back and remind myself because I'm like, yeah, how many? Because like that was like year 2, I think we started doing that. So there's a lot of them. Yeah, I mean, just because it's on my mind, I guess the Dark Knight month. But I mean, I'm sure there's others. Yeah, I don't know. I'll just say Dark Knight month because it was fun talking about those movies.
Sailor Aaron, thank you for the 200 bits. Doug, have you seen the video I recommended to you last week from Cinema Therapy? Psychology of a Hero, Bruce Wayne / Batman Dark Knight Trilogy. Please check it out if you have time and their videos because their videos are fantastic.
I'll do my best, but you nailed it. It's having time to do it. Like I said, this job keeps you surprisingly busy, so I'll do my best, but I can't make any promises.
Dillbomb, thank you for the 50 bits. What are some more movies that you love that you would want to talk about on NC in the future?
I'm trying to find a way. Originally, I was going to do it this year, but I may push it to next year. I kind of wanted to find a way to do like editorials on movies in a way that like I'm talking about them like an editorial, but it's also like it kind of incorporates like our cast into as well, like Malcolm and Tamara and some visuals and stuff like that. So it's, I don't want to say it's abstract because it's not that, but it'd be like using the style of the movie to sort of talk about it. There's some people have tried something similar, like Royal Ocean Film Society has tried something like that sometimes, where he's trying to kind of replicate the style while also talking about it. But it's also using clips. You know, it wouldn't be like a clipless review per se. So it wouldn't just be another one of those. It would be something a little different. So something along those lines I like to do with like Ed Wood or Fight Club or Where the Wild Things Are. You know, stuff where I'm like, man, I can talk about the ideas from this in such a unique way.
Tulip fan, thank you for the 50 bits. Are you friends or fans with any big cartoon reviewers like Saber Spark, Phantom Strider, Rebel Taxi, and Mr. Enter? Also, could you do vlogs of regular show and Ed, Ed, and Eddie?
Phantom Strider, I am. He's really, really nice. I've seen Saber Spark, right?
Yeah.
I think isn't it? Yeah, his stuff's really good. And the other shows like doing vlogs and stuff like that, I'm not gonna have time. I'm sorry. Like I said, it's hard enough just to watch shows for Disney December and you know stuff like do vlogs for Star Wars Rebels and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm just not gonna have the time.
Adam Gunther, thank you for the 50 bits. Which strict parent do you find more annoying, the grandma from Coco or the mom from Turning Red?
Okay, it's weird. The grandma from Coco, I think, is a very boring idea because we know what the lesson's gonna be. But she didn't rub me the wrong way. Where with the mother from Turning Red, I totally get what they're trying to do, and I love it. I love how they're best friends, but there's gonna be like that disconnect, and she's gonna form her identity with like her friends and kind of break away and stuff. But I just thought too many of the things she did, I'm like, I know you're supposed to embarrass her, but come on. Was that like going to the market to yell at the boy and stuff like that? I'm like, this is a little much. So I don't know. It's hard to choose.
Framizer, thank you for the 50 bits. I know you've been pushing to. I know I've been pushing you to review Dear Evan Hansen the movie, but not just the plot, the whole vanity project angle make the film worth discussing, and the fact that this is Universal's follow-up to Cats.
Oh man, Universal made that. Yeah, boy. I don't think they should do musicals. You know what? I shouldn't say that. I haven't seen it. I heard things though. I heard things. I haven't done it yet because A, songs do get hit pretty hard with claims. And B, I just hear it's really long and really boring, and that's part of the difficult part of getting through it. But at some point I should, because I do hear it's kind of a unique bad.
I know, guys, thank you for the 50 bits. I just saw a photo of Nicolas Cage as Dracula, and let me tell you, he looks ridiculous in the best sort of way.
Oh, really? I haven't.
Yes.
Nick Cage. What is with all the Nick Cage stuff coming out now? There's like, there's that movie coming out with what? Oh my God! I'm sorry.
It's great. It's great.
I'm gonna feel sad. Oh, he looks like Hotel Transylvania. He looks like he should be running through saying, "I'm a vampire. I'm a vampire." Oh my God. Oh,
it's perfect.
Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait.
Talkative Carl, thank you for the 50 bits. Heather, it seems the Halo series is out on Paramount Plus. How likely will this show get more subscribers? Lol, it won't.
I mean, I will say, if there's any show that can do, I mean, I saw the trailer for the show, and that's the first thing I've ever seen from Paramount Plus that I'm like, meh?
Yeah.
But there is nothing else on there I'm interested in.
No, I absolutely still would not pay money for Paramount Plus just for the Halo show. And I think they severely overestimate how many people will pay money to watch the Halo show.
I think they overestimated a lot. I mean, we'll see. I don't know. And I'm trying to think what they could get that would get me to get a subscription. Because there were some streaming channels where I'm like, oh, I have no interest. Oh, they have that? Yes, I want to get that. You know, HBO Max took me a little bit of time, but I'm really glad I went to it. When I found out they had like all the Warner Brothers stuff, I'm just like, oh my God, yes, I want this.
I say this every time. I think the only thing Paramount Plus needs to do is push more that they have all the classic Nickelodeon stuff.
Yeah.
That's what they need to push. And make sure they have all the classic, like, game shows. Have the classic episodes of the game shows and then just keep doing the game shows. Like, not doing them super serious like they did with Legends of the Hidden Temple. No. I want to be on the aggro crag, please.
Yeah, but push it hard for kids, but also the parents that remember those shows as well.
Exactly.
I think that's probably
millennials with their kids tag teaming through old Nickelodeon game shows. Why aren't you doing that, Paramount Plus?
Yeah, and I think kids would like to see like that old stuff too. Like cartoons, it's like, okay, some of that is dated, some of it isn't, but like, yeah, those old shows, like the live action shows, are just like immediately like a time capsule of the time. And I think kids like do kind of get into that, especially ones that are like written well. Like Clarissa Explains It All. I feel like kids would still like that now.
Exactly. Godzilla fan, thank you for the 50 bits. Would you consider reviewing the musical Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny?
You know, I thought it was really boring. And I like that group, you know, but yeah, I couldn't get into it. So probably not.
Orlando Garcia, thank you for the 100 bits. Well, Doug, much time has passed, but are there any Phineas and Ferb songs that still live rent-free in your head?
You know, it's funny. They stay with me, and then they kind of like, because there's so many of them that like they stay with me for a day or two, and then I see the next one, and it's like erased by the other one. You know what I mean? Like another song comes in, like kicks it out. So yeah, it is one of those things where I'm just like, yeah, I guess not just the main theme song, I guess. But it's like I remember the songs all being spectacular, but yeah, I'm like totally blanking on them now. I guess just there's too many notes.
I didn't necessarily watch the whole thing, but my brothers were obsessed with it, and Icky Vicky is one that just comes up every now and then. I'm like, where did that come from, subconscious? Adam Grunther, thank you for the 50 bits. Do you have a particular favorite episode of Family Guy?
The Star Wars ones, I thought those were so clever, so funny. Yeah, like those are up there with like Spaceballs as some of like just the best Star Wars parodies.
Yeah. LePew, thank you for the 50 bits. How is Buster and Chaplin?
Good. Buster's been limping a bit, so we're probably gonna take him to the vet because he limped a little bit before, and the vet looked at it and said, "Oh no, he's okay," you know. And we know what happened. It was one of those things where he was under the recliner as it started to come down, and we're like, "Oh no!" And we stopped, you know, but he was fine. The vet's like, "No, there's no swelling or anything like that. Like, you know, he's good, but keep an eye on him." It went away, and then like the past week he started limping again, which is really weird. So yeah, so we're gonna take him in again, but he'll still play, he'll do all that stuff. But yeah, so we're gonna take him in again to get a look at. But aside from that, great.
Well, chat, I stand corrected. Icky Vicky is Fairly Odd Parents, not Phineas and Ferb, Heather. So
okay, good, because I was saying to myself,
I'm an idiot.
I don't remember this at all.
No, you know that makes a lot more sense. Sorry about that. Sorry, chat. I am wrong on the internet. It happens. I apologize.
Not from you.
Not from me.
Teacher Heather.
It happens. Happens a lot. You girls. Yep. Wrong. Modica, thank you for the 50 bits. Wait, are you reviewing Bobbleheads the movie?
No.
I don't know. You'll have to wait and see.
Yeah. There's my poker face right there.
Straw Hat Prime, thank you for the 50 bits. Any chance for the Batman Mr. Freeze Sub-Zero review later on this year?
Wow, yeah, a lot of people really want me to review this. I'll watch it again just to see if there's material. Yeah, because that's like something like the 5th request I've gotten here. So yeah, we'll see.
Talkative Carl, thank you for the 50 bits. I love Batman 89, but the scene where Bruce is hanging upside down after spending the night with Vicky always confused me as a kid. It wasn't until my mid-20s when I found out that Burton wanted Bruce to behave somewhat like a bat because he was a little off.
Yeah, and he does like the thing, like he's stretching his wings and stuff. I'm always like, is that really clever or ungodly stupid? I can never quite put together with that scene.
Why not a little bit of both, you know?
Maybe, yeah. A lot of scenes in that movie are, honestly. I still love it.
Antari, thank you for the 100 bits. You said one of the cliches you hate is the chosen one story. It personally doesn't bother me. Are there any examples you can think of where that cliche does not work, or does work?
Oh, sure. Well, okay. I like it in Dune because of the follow-up with Children of Dune. That's one of my favorite. And they all lived happily ever after. And then when you read more, you're like, oh no. And it's great. And the characters are so interesting. What happens is so interesting. So that's one where I think it was a question one that did work. Yeah. So even without that though, I think it works fine. I think it's still good. Story of Jesus is a pretty good one.
Sorry, that really got me.
I mean, but honestly, even go off of that, like Prince of Egypt, 10 Commandments. I mean, it's like, it is done well. It's the Bible, but it's like, it is done well.
Yeah. I know, guys, thank you for the 50 bits. I think I have an idea for one of the upcoming reviews. You said that one of the voice actresses for Amphibia starred in this movie. Is it Bobbleheads or The Social Network?
Yeah, there's a lot of material I could get with The Social Network. I mean, yes,
We'll
no.
see. Strider for Life, thank you for the 50 bits. Hi, Doug, just saw your Dark Knight Rises review. Good job. Or good joke, lol.
Thank you.
Straw Hat Prime, thank you for the 50 bits. Since the Netflix Marvel shows are on Disney Plus, any chance for a Disney-cember review? And can you also do Snow Dogs for Disney-cember?
I think I got my list down, but if one opens up or gets moved back, maybe I'll do that. If I do those, it'll have to be next year because I got the shows already picked out. But yeah, I am realizing I haven't finished any of them, and I probably should. I haven't even seen the Defenders where they all come together. I've seen none of Iron Fist, though everybody tells me I'm missing nothing. Yeah. So yeah, I probably should.
Talkative Carl, thank you for the 50 bits. Doug, did you notice the purple smudge on Joker's neck in Batman 89 right before he kills his former boss? When I was a kid, someone pointed it out to me, and every time I watch Batman 89, my eyes are drawn to that hilarious smudge.
There's a lot of scenes that I notice in there that it almost makes a review tricky because it's like, well, I grew up with that. I've seen it all the time. Do I mention that or not? Because the review's already so long. So I do remember that, and I always wonder, was that like the suit rubbing off, or is that like I didn't know what it was. But yes, or maybe it's part of the chemical. Maybe he puts white makeup on there. That's just part of the chemical burn. Who knows?
And Tari, thank you for the 100 bits. Doug, I recently watched a video of your top 20 all-time favorite movies. I liked it and wanted to watch some of these, but there are some you left out, some others you love, like Roger Rabbit and Where the Wild Things Are. Would you ever update your top 20 movie favorite list?
I probably should. Molly's Game would be on there. Definitely Where the Wild Things Are. And there's like one or two others, but not many. I wouldn't switch out many. Like that's still mostly the same list. But I probably should, just for shits and giggles, like just update it. Like maybe I'll post it on Facebook or something.
Orlando Garcia, thank you for the 100 bits. Question for the both of you. What is the most dangerous thing you've ever done, seen, or been a part of? It's classified.
I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think. There was one time, I think in early college, early college, where a car, it was at an intersection, and like it was trying to run the light, and one other car was turning. It hit it and literally did like spun on its side, like in front of me. Like I was one car away, it just spun right in front of me, like out of a movie. Like it was bizarre. And I think my girlfriend at the time was driving. I said, dialed 911. I got out to see if they were okay. They were both fine. I remember the one dude, like, because he was so smashed in there, he had to climb through the window. This was the car that flipped over. He just climbed through the window, looked at it, just said, "My dad's gonna kill me."
Wow.
Big concern. So I don't know what happened after that, but they were both okay. But yeah, that was the most like, holy shit, like if we just went a little earlier or something like that, like we totally would have been hit.
My parents would probably say me moving to a foreign country in my early to mid 20s without speaking the language by myself.
Oh, you didn't speak any of the language?
No, I didn't know any Japanese before I lived in Japan.
Holy smoke.
And the older I get, the more I understand why they were like, oh, we're a little concerned. But I was like, I'm going to be fine. And I was fine. Everything was great. But you know what? Everyone should actually do that. It wasn't that dangerous.
I thought you knew at least like a little bit of the language. No,
I didn't know like any Japanese. I knew like some basic stuff I gleaned from anime. But like that's barely anything.
Yeah.
Big Jack Films, thank you for the 50 bits. Fun fact, one of the bidders in Batman and Robin who tried to buy poison ivy was the same guy in the Dark Knight who the Joker said, you remind me of my father.
What was the first part? I'm sorry.
One of the bidders in Batman and Robin who tried to buy poison ivy was the same.
Bidders.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Bidders.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's interesting callback. All right.
Pat and Soa, thank you for the 50 bits. Cannot wait for next week's review of my beloved Mask of the Phantasm. Won't say it's all thanks to me being annoying requesting it, but nevertheless, have you seen the episode of Justice League Unlimited where the Phantasm makes a surprise cameo in the Batman Beyond universe?
No, that sounds cool. Yeah, because I guess they do more with the Phantasm. I was gonna say he, her, but if you haven't seen it. Yeah, I guess they do more with that character in the comics, but I didn't know that character pops up in other shows and stuff. So that's really cool. I always wanted to see more.
Alexander, thank you for the 50 bits. Hi, Doug. I think my favorite line from your review of Dark Knight Rises was when you said, it in no way feels like a lazy movie, just a misguided one. I appreciate how you did acknowledge how hard it tried. I personally really enjoyed it, but I agree there were inconsistent moments.
Yeah, I really didn't like it when it came out. And watching it again, I'm like, okay, there's so much effort put into this. And even in the script, I mean, you can tell they're trying. I don't think it was lazy. I think they're so wrapped up in a few elements they definitely wanted to hit and making it seem like realistic and believable and covering all their grounds, where it's just like, you just can't do that in a comic book movie. I mean, you can definitely hit some important points, but I mean, like trying to do the ultimate, everything's ethical, everything's realistic, it's like, it just give into the leeway. That's part of why we like comic book movies. But yes, I could definitely feel the effort and see the money spent on the big screen, definitely.
Talkative Carl, thank you for the 50 bits. I have a Batman confession. Mask of the Phantasm is only okay. I think Batman Sub-Zero is a better Batman the Animated Series movie and a great continuation of the Heart of Ice episode. It'll be great for Matt Reeves to adapt Heart of Ice.
Yeah, I mean, God, that's like the 6th recommendation. So I guess I really have to see it again. Yeah, I remember liking it, but wow, it really has a following.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my favorite Batman animated movie is actually Under the Red Hood. I liked Mask of the Phantasm, but I loved Under Red Hood.
Yeah, everyone says that. See, I remember watching it and liking it, but again, I think I was doing something else while I was watching it, so maybe I missed something because everyone's like, well, Phantasm and Under the Red Hood. Clearly. I mean, like, there's no debate. So it's like, I think I got to watch it again because, yeah, I might have missed something the first time.
Spike, thank you for the 50 bits. I would love to see Hush or the Court of Owls in the next Batman. Just no more Joker.
I tend to agree.
I agree.
And
Hush would be a really cool one for them to do.
Honestly, what you brought up, Heather, Mad Hatter in this universe would be fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I would love to see what they would do with him in this.
Hewlett fan, thank you for the 50 bits. Are you a fan of the show Archer, a very funny animated spy show that's kind of like Sunny in Philadelphia with spies? Would you review it?
And I don't think I could review it. I wouldn't have time. But yeah, I watched up to, I think, the second, whatever you would call it, like coma variation, if that makes sense. If you watch the show, you know what I'm talking about. And then I started to get out of it. The writing just wasn't grabbing me. And then they brought him back. He's back in, the real world. I'm like, okay, let's go. And the writing just wasn't grabbing me. It wasn't bad. It wasn't terrible, but it just felt different somehow. So I stopped. But I mean, yeah, that first, I don't even know, like 1 through 6 or 7 seasons, something like that. I mean, just spectacular. Great writing, great acting, phenomenal timing. Just, yeah, so good.
Sailor Aaron, thank you for the 100 bits. Also, Doug, would you review for Disneycember Mr. Holland's opus, The Kid and Witch Mountain movie trilogy this year? I really love Mr. Holland's opus, and I thought The Kid and Race to Witch Mountain are enjoyable.
Mr. Holland's opus of Disney film? I didn't know that. Oh, maybe it's Touchstone. I never did see The Kid. I heard it's good. And I saw whatever Witch Mountain movie has The Rock in it, and I think I grew up with the other Witch Mountain movies, but I don't remember them at all. So I should probably watch them again. So we'll see.
JT, thank you for the 50 bits. Are there any movies that you love seeing the reactions of other people watching it for the first time? Some movies that come to mind are The Fly, The Thing, and many other classic horror films.
Oh, yeah. I love seeing the reaction to, I mean, honestly, No Way Home. That was fantastic. I love going online and seeing people's reactions. When I saw Endgame, we had a very laid-back audience, so we didn't get a lot of the cheers. So I did go online and watch some of the reactions there, which was great. What else? The movie I saw the most times in theaters was Jurassic Park, which I think was either like 11 or 13 times. It was definitely double digits, whatever it was. And because there's always somebody that didn't see it yet. And I'm like, I got to take you to go see it. And I just stopped watching the movie and I just turned around and started watching the reactions because they were so great. Because again, nobody saw effects like that before, where like a raptor would try to bite someone's leg and just miss. I mean, nobody saw anything like that before. So everyone would just go, ah, like that. It was just great to see.
Talkative Carl, thank you for the 50 bits. Heather and Doug, do you think Matt Reeves is even listening to the complaints of fans about No More Joker?
Oh, I didn't even... I didn't know there were complaints. I guess I'd be in that boat, but again, there's a lot of stuff he did that I would think maybe wouldn't work, but did. So, I mean, I'll give... And I said the same thing about Ledger. Oh my God, look at this Joker. That's not going to work. And it worked great. So, I don't know. I am tired of that character.
Yes.
Finally.
Yes.
Which is impressive because that's one of my favorite characters. But I am finally at a point where I'm like, okay, I'm done with this dude. And there are a lot of great Batman villains, but maybe he could mix it with other ones, do something with the Riddler. I don't know. Oh, and real quick, they're asking about reactions. If you haven't seen the recent remake of The Invisible Man, there's one scene in the middle. I won't give it away, but if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. I love seeing people's reactions to that. Their jaws just go, like that when it gets there, and I love seeing the reactions.
Turtle Power, thank you for the 50 bits. Hi, Doug. You mentioned before that you know someone who worked on the Frank Oz Stepford Wives. Do they have an interesting story, any interesting stories, and would you ever consider doing a review? From what I heard, they did a ton of reshoots.
Lots of interesting stories. That actually I have not heard, but he told me there's a lot of interesting stories. But yeah, it's maybe yeah, that is one where it'd be interesting to look into the history of it, because it is such a mess, and it should have been great. That's a great idea. That's a great director, knows comedy and everything. So that might be one of those where it's more fun to look behind the scenes and figure out what went wrong, because the movie itself is just a big mess. But maybe that might not be a bad idea.
Adam Grunther, thank you for the 50 bits. Despite how a story ended in Jessica Jones, would you want David Tennant to continue playing Kilgrave in the MCU? Absolutely.
I mean, they brought back so many other actors. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just remembering how good he was. Honestly, there are so many bizarre twists and turns where I'm just like, what? Like, there are sometimes he would say something, I'm like, no, that's a trick, that's a joke, and then like he was serious, and there are times you think he's serious and it was a joke. Yeah, he just played it so well.
Alexander, thank you for the 50 bits. I'm about to head to class, so catch you on the flip side, dude master. Not just kidding. You guys are awesome.
Right on.
Turtle Power, thank you for the 50 bits. Hi, Doug. Would you ever consider reviewing possibly the weirdest movie of the 90s, Martin Short's Clifford? It was shot as an R-rated adult comedy that then got re-edited into a PG kids movie. Weird.
Brad reviewed it, Cinema Snob, and I think he did better than I could with it, because it is very odd, and that's part of what's uncomfortably charming about it, if that makes sense. And I think he represents that a lot better than I probably could.
Talkative Carl, thank you for the 50 bits. Doug, have you thought about doing an entire NC review in an animated format?
That'd be way too much work, man. Yeah, that ain't gonna happen.
Turtle Power, thank you for the 50 bits. Have either of you ever seen Brian Fuller's Hannibal? It's such a great show and redoes Ridley Scott's take on the story in a much better way.
I think I saw the first season, and I did like it. I enjoyed it a great deal. I never did see the other season, so it was one of those where I'm like, yeah, I'm getting into it, but not enough to follow up, if that made sense. That was at a time when I did have a little bit more time to watch stuff, so yeah, but maybe it gets even better. I don't know.
Psychotic Yoshi, thank you for the 100 bits. Doug, have you seen Francis Ford Coppola's The Conversation? It's about a surveillance expert who records a mysterious exchange between a young couple at a park. If not, I highly recommend it. It's a great underrated film of his.
No, and I've heard that a lot. I hear it's phenomenal. It's very underrated. I really should. I should check that out because I hear it's great.
Turtle Power, thank you for the 50 bits. I wish No Time to Die had been nominated for cinematography. What an incredible looking movie. What movies would both of you have nominated for this category?
I mean, this year or just in general?
I'm guessing this year. I can't imagine anything besides Dune is going to win that. I'm sorry, but Dune was so amazingly shot.
I mean, we do live in a time of because technology is so amazing and there's so much imagination being done with different franchises and stuff where just goods to be spectacular cinematography is really tricky now because even your average movie just has really good cinematography.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, there's just so much talent and technology just keeps doubling in terms of what it can do daily. The one where I was always shocked, I could not believe it did not get a nomination, was Return of the King. When that came out, I had all these nominations, and if I'm right, I'm pretty sure it did not have best cinematography, and I was just blown away by that. Unless I'm remembering it wrong, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't.
Turtle Power, thank you for the 50 bits. Since you did Aragon, would you ever do The Golden Compass? Would be great to see your take on it, especially since Rob is a fan and they ended up reshooting so much of the movie. It originally ended with Daniel Craig murdering a kid on screen. A family picture.
No, because I know a lot of people that have read those books. I know there's an HBO show out now and everything. That I think it'd be like The Last Airbender, where it's I would have to read the source material because it is such like a huge, mind-blowing series that like has so many layers to it, where something like Percy Jackson just looked like it was going to be a little dumb movie, and it was, but it's based on a great book series, but the book series, like, as far as I know, it wasn't quite Lord of the Rings or Golden Compass or Narnia or something like that, but it's a really good series. So that I feel like, okay, I can, like watch this and get some laughs out. Or Golden Compass, I did see it and it's bad, but you can tell it's like, man, this is probably based on a really layered book series that has a lot going on. Kind of the same thing with Artemis Fowl. I don't think I'd do that because you can just tell that it's from a series that has so much going on. And I feel like if I'm going to talk about that, I should represent the source material, and I don't have time to read it.
Gary Turbo, thank you for the 50 bits. Appreciate that. JCM film student, thank you for the 50 bits. Hearing that X-Men First Class was originally pitched as a Magneto Origins movie, it makes sense in hindsight. He's almost the tragic protagonist of that film.
I didn't know that, but that makes a lot of sense because they're always saying that, like, well, first it's going to be X-Men Origins Wolverine, there's going to be X-Men Origins Magneto, and then they didn't do, the Magneto movie. But knowing that now, it's like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. I didn't know that. That's really interesting.
Godzilla fan, thank you for the 100 bits. Was it me, or did the Batman's music sound sort of like the Imperial March?
Bum, 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 bum. Yeah, okay, I can see that.
Yeah.
I always thought it sounded like a warped version of the Dragnet's theme, the bum, 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 bum. Like you're in trouble kind of theme.
Antari, thank you for the 100 bits. I know in Revenge of the Sith, Padme dying a broken heart looks like lazy writing, but there's a theory from Cinema Wins that Palpatine stole Padme's life so Vader could live. It would explain how he knew she was dead and supports the life force transfer idea in Episode 9.
Yeah, but this is Lucas writing. Tell me he wouldn't put that in. No, broken heart. Like, under a Lucas script, of course that's how she passed.
Turtle Power, thank you for the 50 bits. After watching the Puss in Boots 2 trailer, I was thinking about how stylized it looked compared to the more realistic Shrek 2. Do you like this changing trend in animation? Personally, I do. Yet another example of how great Into the Spider-Verse is.
I was gonna say, if they can work with it like Into the Spider-Verse, great. With Puss in Boots, that's a little. If you're gonna do it, go even further with it, because it looks like it's still trying to replicate the style of the Shrek movies, just simplify it. And I'm like, nah, go comic booky, or make it like this is one of the stories of Puss in Boots, and make it look like, maybe it's hand drawn, but it's not, as 3D or something. So I'm not against it, but I do kind of wish it would go even further with it.
Chorus, thank you for the 50 bits. So Doug, like season 2 Rebels, what do you think about Kanan's twist, and when will the reception of the season be on the channel?
I think tomorrow is when we're going to put it up. And I mean, okay, I guess I won't go into spoilers, but I mean, is the twist just what happens to him?
I'm assuming, yeah.
Okay,
that's what
yeah.
mean.
And I started the next season, so I still don't really like him, but I do like what they're doing with him, if that makes sense. I like this, gives him something to at least make him more interesting, a kind of an interesting obstacle to overcome. But even when he's being taught at the opening of the 3rd season, I'm like, shouldn't Jedi already know this? Isn't this already a part of it? Like, I don't know. That's me being a nitpicky bastard.
Horace, thank you for the 50 bits. Would it be possible to do Nostalgia Critic review of Ewok movies? I love them. They are very fantasy, even though they are unfortunately forgotten. Also, John Cordy, the director of the first film, died recently.
Oh, that's sad. I had it on the list for a long time, but I think I'm just going to do a Disney-cember of it. Or, I mean, I think someone's bringing up maybe for May the 4th. I don't know. We'll see. I know I'm definitely going to do a Disney-cember of it. We'll see if at any point I want to do a Nostalgia Critic on them, because I had to do them both. They have to be side by side.
Gary Turbo, thank you for the 50 bits. I forgot to send my comments with my bits, so I'm going to highlight it. I'm sorry, that was 30 minutes ago. I can't scroll back up and look. Second, I bet the Lost City was Sandra Bullock getting paid to live out her fantasy.
Yeah. Oh, I get to choose between Channing Tatum and Brad Pitt. Oh, no. Yeah, these beautiful landscapes and everything. So, yeah, I haven't seen it. I hear it's pretty funny.
I know, guys, thank you for the 50 bits. Did you see the only SNL sketch that had both Robin Williams and Eddie Murphy interacting with each other? I love that sketch, and I love the two legends finally got to make a sketch together.
I'd have to look at. I've seen a lot of SNL stuff with Robin Williams, but yeah, that'd be interesting. Actually, that does sound like that'd be pretty interesting. I'll look it up.
Adam Grunther, thank you for the 50 bits. Which Batman movie villain that we never got would you have liked to see more? Robin Williams as Riddler or Billy D. Williams as Two-Face?
Uh, Yeah, I'll say Williams as the Riddler simply because if we're going by Batman Forever, I feel like he probably could have brought more to that, with Schumacher and stuff like that, where Billy D. Williams doing that stuff that they want him to do that Tommy Lee Jones does. It's like, no, nobody can really make that work in a way that's like threatening or anything. So I'd probably say that.
Hewlett fan, thank you for the 50 bits. What is the flat out worst comedy film and TV show that you've ever seen? For me, it's got to be Disaster Movie and a TV show called Heil Honey, I'm Home, a sitcom about Adolf Hitler. Look it up, it's insane.
I've heard about that. I haven't
too.
seen it. Worst movie, still Garbage Pail Kids. Nothing's topped that. Worst show? Man. I remember there's one. This always stands out to me. I think it was called Normal Ohio with John Goodman. And the whole shtick, this is all it was. John Goodman's gay. That's it. There is nothing else to it. And it's just like,
oh, no.
And no, that's it. He's gay. He's acting like all feminine. His parents are like, what? And it was like, we couldn't even finish the first episode. We love John Goodman, but we were just like, this is unbearable. Like literally unwatchable. I think they canceled it in like 2 or 3 weeks. It was so bad. And now I kind of want to go and find it the more I think about it to see if the rest was as bad. Because yeah, it was impressively awful.
That Disney nerd, thank you for the 100 bits. Have you seen an animated film called Balto? I haven't, but I've heard it's really good.
Yeah, we did a review of it. I really enjoyed it.
CCL Coda, thank you for the 50 bits. Have you ever considered the idea of an Oscar bait month? You just review bad movies that were so clearly made just to win Oscars. It would be a good chance to talk about Greatest Showman and music.
I still have to see that movie Music. I so want to see that. Oh my God. Yeah, every time I even hear about that, I start laughing. Maybe we do a Greatest Showman on the list because that would be fun to talk about. I don't know. It would be fun to maybe discuss that. We'll see. We got a couple of theme months lined up already.
Turtle Power, thank you for the 50 bits. If you aren't going to do more Dark Toons, would you ever consider doing a full-length video or review of those shows, like one on Courage the Cowardly Dog or Invader Zim? The latter would be especially interesting.
Maybe, again, it would require me sitting down, watching all of them. And even though I do have, Invader Zim's, there's not that many. Isn't it like 1 season or something like that? So maybe I could do that. But yeah, the others, it'd just be a time issue. But maybe at some point I can work that in somewhere.
Pat and Zoa, thank you for the 50 bits. Did you notice May's tombstone for the PS4 game was used in, this is full of spoilers, but we all said, I think we said No Way Home, spoilers are fine, was the same one used in No Way Home. Just like how the Spider-Verse used the basic Spider-Man outfit in the background of the Spider Cave. That game really was awesome and hope you enjoyed it.
That's really cool. No, I didn't know that. That's a great little Easter egg. That's really cool.
Gary Turbo, thank you for the 50 bits. What characteristics you relate to? For example, other than being from Atlanta, I relate to Matlock's love of hot dogs due to my weakness for pizza.
Was it a character's weakness or just a character in general?
What character? What character do you relate to? I think is what it is. Who has characteristics that you relate to?
I always hate to say it, but Mr. Peanut Butter's totally me from BoJack Horseman. I know it. I'm not even gonna hide from it. But it's one of those things where it's like he's simple, but he's happy and he loves talking and just having fun. And I don't know. I think that.
DCL Coda, thank you for the 60 bits. Given two Mamma Mia's, Cats and Evan Hansen, I do agree that Universal should stop doing musicals, but they are doing Wicked, so I'll give them one more shot, but only one.
Wicked would be pretty tricky to screw up. Well, wait, did they do? No. Warner Bros. Did In the Heights. Yeah, well, I think because they had some success with Les Mis. I'm sure they've done a couple others as well. But I'd be very impressed if they screw up Wicked. I guess you could argue it's the same director as Jim and the Holograms, but it's also the same director of like In the Heights and and a lot of other great stuff. So yeah, I feel like it's gonna do well. That'd be my guess.
Adam Grunther, thank you for the 50 bits. Who was your favorite and least favorite character from Phineas and Ferb?
Favorite? God, there's so many. I think Doofenshmirtz. That's a pretty great character. Although the sister, I really like too. I just love that tragic, setup that she will never get them in trouble, but she kind of has it coming because it's like she's trying to get them in trouble too, trying to ruin their fun. I mean that Candace is always great. In terms of least favorite, maybe like I'm sure there's worse ones, but maybe Doofenshmirtz's daughter. Like she's not bad, but she's not that interesting. Or any that Marvel crossover I thought was weirdly not interesting. I thought all the Marvel characters were really dull, and that was very strange because I thought like that would be really epic, and I thought it was kind of dumb.
Antari, thank you for the 100 bits. Doug, spoilers! This is just the spoiler for Spider-Man PS4, so I'm just going to say it because we watched it. When you finished playing Spider-Man, the audio muted in a reveal with Aunt May due to copyright. Could you please express your reaction and thoughts of that moment where Aunt May knows Peter is Spider-Man?
Oh, it did it in
the VOD. Yeah, sometimes the VODs get muted.
Oh, that sucks.
They get muted sometimes. Yeah.
That sucks. I mean... I was saying in the little Disney December review I did of it, I was so impressed how you had a setup that's essentially Peter talking to a character that he's gonna make a choice to leave. It's someone he has strong connection to. They both reveal that they know he's Spider-Man, and it's gonna be a tearjerker moment. It's almost the exact same scene, but it's done. The differences are so unique and so strong and played to kind of different themes that it's like, man, both are powerhouse moments that just rip your heart out. And the fact that they're back to back and they both work is really mind-blowing to me because, like, that should not work. That absolutely should not work. But the differences were so strong and the writing was so great. So, yeah, I was really, really impressed by that.
Turtle Power, thank you for the 50 bits. I know movies can get lost in CGI, but do you think sometimes they can get lost in practical effects too? Like CGI, if not used well, it can become a gimmick. In some ways, The Dark Knight Rises feels like Cleopatra. The scale is impressive, but the humans at the center of it?
You know what? It's funny. I wouldn't necessarily think of that as like the first example, but yes, there's time. And actually, Cleopatra's a perfect example of the practical effects, kind of overshadowing everything, overshadowing the people. I'm sure there's a popular opinion. Dark Crystal. I can't get into Dark Crystal. I'm sorry, but I love the technical wizardry. I love the imagination. I love the design. I think the story and characters are so boring. But I like the show. The show is pretty cool. So yeah, that's an example that's coming to mind.
Pat and Soa, thank you for the 50 bits. I really hoped Fallen Order would have gotten me more into Star Wars after the controversial third trilogy. Sadly, it did not, and alas, I'm so grateful for The Mandalorian.
Yeah, me too. I guess they're doing a third season too, so yeah, I'm excited to see where they go. Though they brought a character back to Mandalorian, and I'm just like, I don't know about that. I guess we'll see, but it was a perfect ending, and I felt like the here we go again thing I didn't need to see.
Turtle Power, thank you for the 50 bits. I agree with you that Burton's Gotham is my favorite, though personally I like Bo Welch's version in Batman Returns a little bit more, because it gets just that bit more stylized and weird. I also like the new one too. What do you think?
Oh yeah, and I always feel bad saying the 89 the 89 one is my favorite because there's very few bad Gotham cities. It's kind of like saying point out a bad Alfred. Like they're all pretty good. So it's one of those things where I always hate kind of throwing Bo Welch under the rug 'cause I love Bo Welch. I mean, that's like one of the designers. Oh my god, especially with Tim Burton. But yeah, just the detail in the 89 one, like I said, it's literally dripping with detail, and I'm always blown away every time I see it.
Robert Wazowski, thank you for the 50 bits. Any Nick game shows you wanted to be on as a kid? I remember really wanting to be on Guts, mostly because the Bungie basketball game looked so fun. P.S. Hope Buster's limp clears up soon.
Yeah, I really want to be on Nick Arcade, and I don't even know how many people remember that. But you play a game, which of course it's like, what kid doesn't want to show off playing a game? And this is before Twitch or anything like that. I mean, it's like you can go on TV and show how good you are at like Super Mario Brothers 2 or whatever, and how quick you can do this. It's like, holy shit, yeah. And then like they put you in a video game. What? Holy shit! And you eventually put together. It's like, oh, it's a green screen, and they're looking at the monitor that way. That's why whenever they're fighting something, their head is always turned this way instead of at the monster they should be battling. But yeah, that blew me away when I was a little kid, despite the host being kind of annoying.
I always wanted to be on Legends of the Hidden Temple.
Yeah.
That was my thing. That's what I wanted to be on.
There's another one called was it like Finders Keepers, I think, where you had to move stuff around and like find things. It didn't last very long, but I always thought that was a cool idea.
Cool. Talkative Carl, thank you for the 50 bits. Heather, please tell me you remember the Nickelodeon show Danny Phantom, because I still remember the song Ember. I can't tell you how many times I sang it. No joke, part of the lyrics is, "You will remember my name," and the ghost rocker Ember was right. I do remember Danny Phantom, although, like, I feel like Danny Phantom, Phineas and Ferb, that, like, era of Nickelodeon, I was almost a little too old for. I just saw because I have 3 little brothers.
Phineas and Ferb is Disney, thank you.
Oh, sorry, okay. Well,
the second thing you get wrong.
You're right, I'm wrong all the time. I'm a weird dog, I hate myself enough already, no.
There are a lot of similarities, to be fair, between them.
Right, I guess I meant that era of cartoon, like I'm almost a little too old for, but I just would watch it with my little brothers. Because even Avatar, I was kind of too old for when it was first coming out, but I sat and watched it with my brothers, so I was just like, oh, this is darn cool. This is like the animes that I watch.
Yeah, I wonder if there's going to be like a name for kind of like that, like this golden age of like certain TV shows, because I think of like Adventure Time, Gravity Falls, Steven Universe. Like there's just a time where it's kind of like that early 90s of shows where it's like, how do we get so many good shows like all on at once, kind of thing, like groundbreaking shows. So I wonder if there's going to be like kind of a name for this era of TV animation, or I should say maybe like 8 years ago TV animation.
Oh, apparently Ice Bacon would also like me to know that I'm wrong, that Danny Phantom is way older than Phineas and Ferb. So I'm just going to shut up now. Monica, thank you for the 50 bits. Molly's Game is an interesting pick for the list of your favorite movies. What makes it one of your favorites?
Well, first of all, I love poker. Some people say that the acting and the writing is a little too, what's the word I'm looking for? Like devoid of emotion and stuff like that. But from that beginning, I just thought she was really fascinating. I thought the emotion was just all like very controlled, and that's why she was so fascinating to me. And it's maybe the first time I saw Kevin Costner like kind of make me tear up. I mean, I was just like, oh my god, I am like my heart's going out to this person. And it's also something where like when you're an internet personality, of course there's going to be stuff out and you just get used to it. But like when somebody's like, no, this is the truth, I can't do that, it's that there's something where really just your heart goes out to just like, man, like I believe this person, so yeah, I just really enjoyed it.
Strider for Life, thank you for the 50 bits. Did you see the deleted scene from The Batman that just got released?
Yeah. We talked about it a little bit before, but makeup's great, focus is great. I'm just kind of sick of the Joker, so we'll see what they do with it.
Turtle Power, thank you for the 50 bits. After watching your old top 10 comedies list, I rewatched Rat Race and you were right. The beginning and ending are horrible, but the middle is so funny. Even funnier than Mad, Mad, Mad World. What are your thoughts now?
About the same. I've watched that movie a lot of times because of how much I really love it. I love the characters and the slapstick and the timing, the visuals, jokes and stuff like that. So no, it still makes me laugh very, very hard. Those two brothers, particularly, whenever they play the classical music when shit's going wrong, it just makes me laugh so hard.
Hewlett fan, thank you for the 50 bits. My favorite NC rant is still your Scooby-Doo breakdown from 2012. Whenever I get angry, I try to harness that rage. It's how I literally felt during dealing with high school. Also, personally, I want Batman to go back to a campy tone after this film. Dark Batman has gotten tired.
I kind of agree. I wouldn't mind seeing something that's a little bit more like what the animated series was doing. In live action, which again, we get that a little bit in the Batman. There's more the detective angle, but yes, I would like to see something that goes a little bit more cartoony, honestly. Like, honestly, I wouldn't mind seeing another animated Batman, even if it's CG or whatever. I think that'd be kind of cool.
Hewlett fan, thank you for the 50 bits. My favorite NC rant is still your Scooby-Doo. Oh, I just read that, sorry. Gary Turbo, thank you for the 50 bits. I think most of the hate for Halo came from the fact that the voice actor from the game isn't going to voice Master Chief from the games, and Cortana isn't as sexy as in the games. I'm looking forward to the series and looking forward to seeing Bokeem Woodbine and Jen Taylor in her first live-action role.
I didn't know there was hate for the Halo trailer. Yeah, it shows how on top of Halo I am. Yeah, I mean, it looked cool to me, but I, obviously know the composer and stuff. I know some people involved, but it's just like, I know nothing about the story or anything like that. So to me, it looked cool, but yeah, I guess if I knew the game, maybe I'd have some issues with it.
Modica, thank you for the 50 bits. Random question. Any plans for the Baby Genius franchise?
I think we did the first two. Did we do the second one? Yes, we did the first two. Are there more? I don't know if I can handle more. Yeah, look them up. We did do reviews of those.
Sailor Aaron, thank you for the 100 bits. Okay, Doug and Heather, besides Selena Kyle / Catwoman for Batman's love interest, which three in order, best to worst, is your favorite? Vicky Vale, Andrea Beaumont, Rachel Dawes. I have to go with Andrea, Vicky, Rachel, though I kind of feel bad because I feel like Maggie G and she was the best actor to me than the first one in Begins.
I'd probably say Andrea, Vicky, and Dawes.
Mm-hmm. Turtle Power, thank you for the 50 bits. Fun fact, the cop who asks, is that a phone in The Dark Knight and then gets blown up is an American actor who lives in the UK. He also played the guy who gives Alexander Knox the Batman drawing in Batman 89.
Oh, no shit. Okay. God, there's a lot of people, I guess, that were reused in Dark Knight. I'm sure he's just like, I'm sure they bring that as like, I was in the original Batman, or I was in Batman Robin. Put him in, come on.
Adam Grunther, thank you for the 50 bits. Which Doom Patrol moment hit you in the feels the most?
Man. Anything with the pilot was pretty heartbreaking. And whether it's with the family or the chemistry with the guy later, especially like when he was older, was really something. So yeah, those are the scenes that get me like pretty, like those are the tear-jerking scenes for me. But I mean, all of them are pretty great.
I love the stuff with Brendan Fraser and his daughter too.
Yeah.
those are crazy. Pat and Soa, thank you for the 50 bits. They have to go Court of Owls on the next Batman. It can work on so many levels. Ever since I was a kid, I wanted a real Mr. Freeze, and for my sins, I get Arnold. But I feel like with the Penguin still around, you can make him a henchman or enforcer that freezes people to death or whatever.
Maybe, or like, I think somebody was bringing up here or something like maybe ejects them with some sort of like freezing thing, or just freezes his victims. Come on, I mean, like in meat sellers and stuff. I mean, that's a common thing in these kinds of stories. Yeah, I always hear like they're maybe even like hinting at the owls, like in there, kind of. So, and I know almost nothing about the owls. I just know people love them. I know it's like a secret society and everything, and everybody's just like, oh my god, like some of the best stories are from that. So, yeah.
Orlando Garcia, thank you for the 100 bits. So we know you got Corey Taylor on the show by picking one out from Corey Taylor Land. So does that mean you got Michael Salvatore by getting one from Michael Salvatore Land?
Rob hates when I bring this up, but I just think it's funny. He was a family friend. For a long time, we knew him as the guy that helped write the Flintstones vitamins jingle. And that's his daughter saying "and growing," in the commercial. And then obviously Halo became like this huge thing, and we're always kind of like, oh, wouldn't it be funny if like we have the guy who helped write Halo in here, but we talk about this stupid Flintstones commercial. So and I thought he was so good at acting boring. I thought he just said those lines so perfectly.
We might have to pick it up a little bit. Your Extra Joe, thank you for the 50 bits. Regarding the talk of the need for comic book movies to give themselves leeway, I just do that for movies in general, as long as they're grabbing me emotionally, which The Dark Knight Rises definitely did.
Yeah, and there's a lot of stuff I'll do that with too, where I'll be like, comic book movies, or that's the style or whatever. So yeah, it just has to work on other levels.
JT, thank you so much for that Prime subscription. Welcome, appreciate that. I know, guys, thank you for the 50 bits. If you were to review a movie about a character named Clifford, could you review Clifford's Really Big Movie or the 2021 Clifford the Big Red Dog?
Maybe. Yeah, I'll look into it.
That Disney nerd, thank you for the 100 bits. So I'm finally in the Frozen season of Once Upon a Time. I know that season has a bad rap because of a lot of stuff that doesn't make sense, but that's when I smile and say, it's a fucking fairy tale. That's true. And that's part of what that show is. It's just so off the rails crazy that you're like, sure, fine. Why not?
That's kind of what I hear. Like, it kind of becomes like one of those CW shows where that's part of the fun of it. But I haven't seen any of it.
Orlando Garcia, thank you for the 100 bits. So they edgified Sabrina Nancy Drew in the Archie comics. What other more lighthearted properties can channels like the CW edgify? Happy Days, maybe? Oh, God. That'd be hilarious. There was a running joke, I think we had it on Awesome Comics, I can't remember when we started it, that they should do a CW Yogi show. And it's just like the Ranger is like this young, hot guy, and like Yogi's got some kind of like addiction issues or something. It'd be great.
Yeah, either of those. Perfect.
Talkative Carl, thank you for the 50 bits. Doug and Heather, what was the most unsettling thing you've seen Kilgrave do that you hated more? For me, not letting the little girl go to the bathroom and making her pee in the closet. I know it's small, but that's just heartless.
Man, I'd have to go back and see the show. The one that always stands out to me is having the guy throw coffee in his face. Something about that was just like, ooh, sheesh.
Alex loves musicals. Thank you for the 100 bits. I love Turning Red. They perfectly captured what it's like to be a teenage girl, in my opinion. Loved the Asian Canadian representation coming from a half Asian person. The family dynamic was relatable. I know a couple of people whose moms that act similarly with their kids.
Yeah, and like I said, I know what they're doing and attempting to do. Like I said, there's just one or two things where I was just like, that could have been tweaked or worked a little better, it just for me in the first 2/3. But like I said, the way it all comes together at the end, like, I think it's just so brilliant.
I know, guys, thank you for the 50 bits. Doug, do you think you'll do an old versus new of West Side Story?
Probably not, because I never got that into it. I do like the new one a lot. But the original, despite I know it's brilliant, it's a brilliant movie, I just never got that into it. So I don't think I'd be the person to compare them.
Shame.
I know.
Turtle Power, thank you for the 50
Have
bits.
you seen it?
Yes, the original West Side Story?
No, the new one?
Yes, it's amazing.
God damn it. Okay, I can't use that then. Fuck. Right,
it's amazing.
It is really good.
I watched it the day it came out on streaming services. Turtle Power, thank you for the 50 bits. A review of the Stepford Wives that delves into the production would be so fascinating. Your analysis of stuff is always so well done and interesting to listen to. Plus, there's a copy of the script and screenshots of a work print floating around on the internet.
Oh, interesting. Okay, yeah, maybe I'll look more into it.
Modika, thank you for the 50 bits. Speaking of weird 90s comedies, any plans to review Nothing But Trouble?
I think I have it, like, on the list for Freak Show Cinema, so probably at some point.
Pat and Soa, thank you for the 50 bits. Did you know there is a comic series that continues Batman the Animated Series? Just got the first book of the stories, and man, it's amazing. How can I put the panels into a show in my head? Or how I can do that, sorry. Says a lot about the show quality.
Yeah, there's like a Batman 89 comic, there's
Mhm.
an X-Men 97 comic. So I don't know. I think it's kind of cool to have something finished. There's an Avatar comic that kind of continues the story. So yeah, I think it's cool when they do that.
Turtle Power, thank you for the 50 bits. Would you ever review X-Men First Class since you've done the rest? I would be interested to hear your take on why that one worked and the others, barring Logan, kind of didn't.
Um, maybe I'm kind of X-Men out. Like I feel like those are the ones I want to talk about the most. But if I was to talk about one, First Class would probably be it.
Turtle Power, thank you for the 50 bits. Maybe Rob could help you with a Golden Compass review. If not, I totally get it. Your commitment to doing these reviews right is always nice to see.
Yes, because he really likes the Golden Compass, but it has to be like my passion coming through it. You know what I mean? And I feel like if I'm going to get really angry and really say how this did something wrong, I have to be able to read it and understand it. Like I said, I don't have time to.
Mango Salsa, thank you so much for that 2-month or 12-month 12-month subscription.
Thank
Welcome
you.
back. Appreciate that. Athrazel, thank you for the 100 bits. I'm not sure if you remembered me suggesting this a couple of years back at Salt City, but I really do think you should do a review of One for the Money. It is the worst book adaptation I've seen, the worst comedy I've seen, and it scored less than Pluto Nash on Rotten Tomatoes.
I
One
don't
for the money.
remember that. Okay, 2012. All right. Yeah, this isn't even ringing a bell. I'll look into it.
Pat and Soa, thank you for the 50 bits. What's your favorite scene in Spider-Verse? Mine is when they go flying through the city and Slub Parker keeps getting knocked out. I laughed for 5 straight minutes in the theater and still today.
God, I don't know. It's all so good.
It is. Even just like that, I don't know if it's the first jump, but the Miles doing that jump, and I don't even know how to say it, but
oh yeah, and then they walks down the stairs like he's about to, and they walk down the stair. Oh, it's so good. I can't choose. It's that good.
Sailor Aaron, thank you for the 100 bits. Will you do more DreamWorks movies to review as the NC this year? I would love to see you review Road to El Dorado, Sinbad, Shrek 1 and 2, especially Shrek 2, because that's one of my favorite sequels/comedies.
I've thought about it. I've thought about doing the Kung Fu Panda movies as well because I really like those. I feel like I can talk about it. Road to El Dorado would be interesting because Rob really doesn't like that movie.
Oh.
And I think it's all right.
It's fine.
Yeah, it's I see problems with it, but he really hates it. So it'd be interesting just to like maybe have like a conversation with him about it or something.
I know, guys, thank you for the 50 bits. Honestly, as someone who hated Mamma Mia, I actually really liked Mamma Mia too. You should review it, Doug. It's pretty good.
That's what I hear. I hear the second one's good. I should at least see it just to see how the hell that's even possible.
Turtle Power, thank you for the 50 bits. Universal is building a 15 soundstage studio complex in the UK for the Wicked movie, so they'll hopefully be using real sets.
I mean, for that size, I would hope they are. Yeah. No, it's just to load their computers to do the CG. No, that's actually really exciting to know.
Talkative Carl, thank you for the 50 bits. Spider-Man No Way Home is absolutely my favorite movie, and there's nothing that will top it, mostly because I'm a Spider-Man fan, but as I mentioned to you, Heather, at C2E2 last year, I wish we had bit cameos of the voice actors who played Spider-Man in games and TV shows.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was very impressed with how good it was.
Pat and Soa, thank you for the 50 bits. You won't believe it, but I swear to God, I said that I wish they would have ended Dark Knight after Harvey wakes up in the hospital. I have no idea how he would have continued the story after Ledger passing, but still, it would have been such a great ending.
Yeah, I agree. And again, I really still love that movie, but yeah, that's kind of nitpicking.
Turtle Power, thank you for the 50 bits. You ever seen the behind-the-scenes photo of the gigantic Gotham backlot they built at Pinewood Studios? If not, I think you should look it up because the scale is insane.
I have, and it's really cool. And the funny thing is, I've seen that movie so many times that I just always thought, well, that's a different set. That's a different set. And then when I looked at it, I'm like, oh, it's really just kind of one middle area that they got different angles of and did like matte paintings and stuff. So yeah, it's really interesting.
Turtle Power, thank you for the 50 bits. I agree with you, Doug. Bo Welch's work is so great. I really liked his work on the Lemony Snicket Netflix show, where despite having a TV budget and schedule, they did try to build everything as a practical set.
Yeah, it's a shame he also directed Cat in the Hat. But again, it was his first movie. Everybody makes mistakes. He's still a phenomenal talent.
Pat and Soa, thank you for the 50 bits. Who's your favorite character from Archer and why is it Krieger? Just playing. Also, what's your favorite season? My absolute favorite is when they go into the drug business and Pam becomes a coke addict.
That was pretty great. I can't pick my favorite season. There's so many good ones, but I mean, honestly, I think just Archer. I think he's my favorite character.
Godzilla fan, thank you for the 50 bits. What would you choose? All the powers of the Flash or all the powers of Superman? I'm going with Superman.
Well, Superman, because the speed's a part of it, so.
Pat and Soa, thank you for the 50 bits. Either of you watched the show Sons of Anarchy? Basically Hamlet with bikers, porn stars, drug cartels, and gangsters, and Ron Perlman at his absolute best, starring as a genius father figure, slowly turning into a tyrant. Bummed me out. It got so overlooked because Breaking Bad, Mad Men, and Game of Thrones overshadowed it. Game of Thrones, sorry.
No, but I heard it's great. I hear it's really, really good.
DCL Coda, thank you for the 50 bits. I like Molly's Game, but I don't love it. I always found that Aaron Sorkin has an odd talent for making ideas and stories that sound super boring into really interesting movies, given Few Good Men, Social Network, Steve Jobs, and Molly's Game as well.
Yeah, and you can tell his style really, really quick. But yeah, something about it just like really, really grabbed me.
Orlando Garcia, thank you for the 100 bits. If I have to be honest, I'm a little worried about the Sonic movie too. It looks like it's going to be just a little plot heavy. Like we'll be jumping back and forth with Knuckles' plotline, the Eggman plotline, and Tails' plotline, Knuckles' backstory, and we still have James Marsden and his life to pay attention to.
You know, in a Sonic movie, though, I don't care. Just throw it all at me. I'm not there for story. I'm really just there to see a bunch of animals like throw rings at each other and go fast and go in temples and grab gems and stuff. So yeah, I don't know. If they don't grab me with this one, I'll be very impressed with what they get wrong.
DCL Coda, thank you for the 50 bits. I swear the I was in insert DC Project here line is how the CW casts its Arrowverse shows. There's a lot of DC Project alums in those shows.
Yeah, fair enough.
Gary Turbo, thank you for the 50 bits. I agree about Joker. It's that he's extremely popular despite there's tons of villains in Batman's rogue gallery. It's like when Venom was in Spider-Man 3. Sam Raimi hated Venom and didn't want to put it in the movie despite being popular, which is why Sony forced to put Venom in the movie.
Yeah, like I said, maybe they can do something new and cool with him, but it's not winning me over yet.
Sailor Aaron, thank you for the 100 bits. What's your favorite Rob Reiner film? I love The Princess Bride, A Few Good Men, The Bucket List, etc.
Yeah, Princess Bride's pretty good. Harry Met Sally's not bad. Yeah, I'll say Princess Bride.
Sailor Aaron, thank you for the 100 bits. I have yet to see Misery and Stand By Me, but I heard they're fantastic.
Yeah, those are pretty great too.
Y'all, I love you, but we are 2 minutes away from the end of stream, and you keep giving us bits, and we're still 8 minutes behind. You may need to just hold off.
Yeah.
Spike, thank you for the 50 bits. For this year's commercial review, you should review Trunk Monkey, where a monkey beats a carjacker with a tire iron, then throws him off a bridge.
Interesting. I'll check it out.
I know, guys. Thank you for the 50 bits. I just looked at this. Apparently, there's going to be a cartoon centered around Usagi Yojimbo from TMNT.
Oh, cool.
That could be interesting. Gary Turbo, thank you for the 50 bits. What non-DC or Marvel comic book movie would you like to see? I would like to see Shadow Man, Ninjak, Harbinger, or another Barbed Wire done right.
I like to see The Mask done like the comic, like a hard R, gory gangster movie. I think that'd be pretty cool.
I'd like to see like a Lord of the Rings-esque Bone movie. That'd be cool.
That'd be cool.
KP Kruk, thank you for the 50 bits. For Nostalgia-ween, would you do an old versus new of other horror remakes like House on Haunted Hill and 13 Ghosts? They came out the same time as the Haunting remake.
Maybe. I'll look into it.
Pat and Soa, thank you for the 50 bits. Heather, these bits are for powering through all my long questions. Lol. Appreciate it. Thank you. Along Came Sonic, thank you for the 50 bits. I highly recommend Mau Mau Heroes of Pure Heart. It's basically Darkwing Duck, but Cartoon Network.
All right. Check it out.
KP Kruk, thank you for the 50 bits. Would you consider reviewing the Assassin's Creed movie?
I don't know enough about the game, and again, I probably should to review that.
Hewlett fan, thank you for the 50 bits. Speaking of Burton's Batman, I actually got to meet Tim Burton and Helena in person back in 2012 and had an hour-long interview with him. He's a genius and a gentleman. One of the best days of my life.
Cool, very cool.
And that's it. Whew.
All right, whoo! Get it. Right, just in time, man. Well, oh my goodness.
One more little 100-bit one that they just gave me. Shadow the Hedgehog, thank you for the 100 bits. I know why Doug didn't like Matrix 1999 movie. Cypher, the character in that movie, was given to a role to an angry Italian who wasn't given to Doug. Blasphemy!
I mean, I was born in Italy, but yeah, I guess that could count.
Okay, and I'm sorry, y'all. I don't think we have time for the highlighted questions today.
Yeah.
It is 7 o'clock, and we've got to get rolling.
Yeah, sorry, man.
But thank you all so much for being here. We super appreciate it.
We're going to start Jedi Fallen Order tomorrow, so definitely come on by and check that out.
Yes! Tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Central. I almost forgot. 6 p.m. Central, Doug is starting Jedi Fallen Order. It's going to be a treat because Doug does not even know what a Soulsborne style game is.
Yep,
he has no idea.
Be fun.
It'll be great. It'll be fine, Doug. You'll have fun. We'll start you on easy, and if need be, we'll put you on story mode.
Okay, cool.
So yes, come check that out or any of our other content here Monday through Saturday. We will be here. You can see the schedule over there. Appreciate y'all, and have a wonderful evening.
Bye.
Bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye now.
Thank you.